Paul Heyman took his hand to the crown jewels of CM Punk and Roman Reigns, but tonight, could he take his hand to the crown jewels of Cody Rhodes? Yeah, welcome back to Fog Wrestling, WrestleMania, and a few short hours, and we're here to talk about the possibility, alright, the possibility, seen it doing the rounds, that apparently Paul Heyman, right, Paul frickin' Heyman, and Seth Rollins are going to, join the forces, right, of The Rock and Cena. And people are like, oh my god, that'll be so epic, that'll be so good. And no, it doesn't make it so good. Cena and Rock are never there, right? Now, I think Cena will be there more than The Rock, right? I think that's a given. But it's like, yeah, it's not like you're going to get these four. I mean, call it the new NWO, call it whatever you want to call it, right? But it's not like you're going to get these four every week. Yeah, they might end tonight be like the final image. But Cena comes to Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Are they going to be on it? Are they going to be there in like any capacity? No, they're not. And that's the God's honest truth. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you might get Cena on Vegas tomorrow. But I wouldn't, like, The Rock, he posted something to, like, his Insta. He was like, oh, he was still in Hawaii, but the song was like, I'm on my way. And, you know, I think there's a lot of talk what could go down tonight. Oh, could they come out? Is Austin going to help Cody? The perfect year was for Austin was last year, right? For whatever reason, they couldn't get it, right? But Cody, I just think Cody's losing tonight. You look at the way that, the way this show has ended when Cody Rhodes and Cena have interacted the last couple of times. I mean, it's just two crossroads to Cena. Cena looks incredibly weak. So I just don't see for the life of me Cody Rhodes winning. And I think if Austin comes out and helps Cody Rhodes, it has to kind of result in a win, like we've seen last year. And as much as I love Stone Cold Steve Austin, I want Big John to win tonight. I'm not going to pretend I overly fucking care, right? And be like, oh, it's going to be so fucking great when Big John wins, because honestly, folks, I couldn't really give a rat's arse. But, you know, gun to my head, who do I want to win? John Cena, Cody Rhodes. It's obviously going to be Big Match John at the end of the day. So, that's what I would want. But I still think, if Austin appears, it pretty much guarantees Cody will win. Because I just can't imagine Austin agreeing to that. You know, because we know Austin, but then he has a changed man at the end of the day. Pancho, Macho, what? I think he'll be there. And I want to see Austin, but I don't want to see it if Cody wins, you know what I mean? But let's be honest, man, right? How many times do we sit here on this channel and be like, oh, it's not exactly Rock and Austin, is it? Oh, Mania 17, 15, 19, Rock Austin, you know. On my way to Margaritaville. When they had that wee sing song before Survivor Series 2001. See tonight, like 4 AM, if The Rock and Austin are having a face-off, 60-year-old Austin against 53-year-old Rock, am I going to not be intrigued? Of course I'm going to be intrigued. You know what I mean? Of course I'm going to be intrigued. That's the way it goes. You know, Rock and Austin facing off against each other. You know, seeing The Rock comes out and he shows the goosebumps on his arm. If there's anything that's going to get me having goosebumps about wrestling, it's either going to be that, or, you know, fucking a lap dance for Stacey Keebler or something in her prime. But at the end of the day, that's not going to happen, brother. We can't have a time machine at the end of the day, unfortunately, I know. But back to the task at hand. Rock, Cena, Heyman, Seth. I mean, it could work, but like, how long before Seth turns his attention to the World Heavyweight Championship? And I think this is why Jey Uso's just got to lose the belt. But we all know that Jey Uso could very easily hang on to this belt until, like, what? You know, fucking, like, next Mania, man? I mean, it could, theoretically. Hopefully it don't. I think they'll quickly find out that Jey Uso's pish, one-dimensional. Well, we already know he can't wrestle. And they're probably going to be like, yeah, you know what, we should probably pull the trigger on that. But in terms of those four joining, I mean, what's it going to be called? You know what I mean? Is it going to be like some big, massive new authority group? There's just... I don't know. I don't know. It's like a lot. It's like a lot of moves that need to come together for it to all work, and I'm just not overly convinced I can imagine that ending tonight's show. You know, and like, what would be the logic of these four joining? Like, Seth Rollins made such a big deal about, like, Seth Rollins teaming up with Paul Heyman makes sense because he hates CM Punk and he hates Roman Reigns. You know, why would he turn? Like, why would why would he turn on Cody? Is it because in like the last year we've seen Cody team up with like Roman Reigns, and team up with, I mean, he's been pally with Punk. They've never teamed up. You know what I mean? I've seen people say, "Oh, we're going to get Cody, Punk, and Reigns against Rock, Seth, and Cena." Yo, is that a 6-man tag that would be good? Fucking bet your bottom dollar it would be. You know what I mean? It's 6 pretty big guys. Some way bigger than others. You know what I mean? And some wee totty men tinier than others. But it doesn't. I just don't see Seth turning on Cody. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, Cena turned heel, didn't he? And of course, you know, Cena helped Cody last year at Mania 40. You know, not even a year later, he's turning on him. So it's not impossible that Seth Rollins would job Cody out. But I mean, how's tonight's main event going to go? There's going to be a shit ton of interference, man. There is. You know what I mean? We've seen this Triple H error where the nights, like Mania night 1, like night 2 endings, they are so like, they force the whole cinema stuff, the drama. It's fucking cringe. Like, nothing feels authentic. Like, everything last night, last night's main event was decent, right? But even if you love this product, right, and you're lacking a wee bit in the skull department, you would know that everything feels like so forced, and nothing feels organic. Like, it just feels like Paul Heyman was waiting for like cues and shit. And, you know, I think wrestling does suffer from the fact that none of us really live in the moment anymore. Everything is broken down a bit to a degree, and you know, Triple H has said that recently. Like, it is overanalyzed, and I think to a point, wrestling is overanalyzed. You know, I mean, a lot of you can factor that into the fact. You mean, we're doing a YouTube channel and we're overanalyzing it, right? But good wrestling's good wrestling at the end of the day. You know what I mean? There's a lot of you guys that, you know, and I'm not me putting myself on a high horse because I talk about it. Of course not. Wouldn't do that. But I mean, there might be a lot of people that just don't listen to people on YouTube talk about it. You know what I mean? And it may be like a better viewing experience for them because you might not read up on spoilers and stuff like that. But, you know, it's like, to me, the logic kind of goes out the window. Because see, I watch an old pay-per-view, like 15, 20, 25, you know, 30 years ago. You know the results, and it still feels great. So as much as I can sympathise to a point, I think it's still a load of shite. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of story stuff tonight. I mean, it's pretty much another case of survival. You know what I mean? Like, it is. Like, last night was like, oh my fucking god, can you survive like the 3 hours that it's going to take to get to this Punk, Reigns and Punk Seth match? We did. Can we survive tonight? Who knows? Son of Scotland 90, he's currently passed out. I'll get him up. About 11:45 with 2 cans of Red Bull left. That equates to 1 each. Is it going to happen? But you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say no. Well, we will watch Mania, but I'm going to go out and say no that Seth, Paul, Rock and Cena all team up together. You know what I mean? I'd argue there's almost a chance that Cena turns back to being a face before all that happens. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. Till next time, peace.